What's up, gorgeous? I'm here today to be your wingman in your understanding of what's going on in your mind around attraction. This video is going to give you a lot to think about in what your mind is doing with the process of attraction and how it's actually sabotaging you. And stick to the end because I think just by knowing this information, it's going to be really helpful to you. There's a few ways that your mind sabotages your attraction. We're going to discuss the most important so that the next time you see that hottie, you just know exactly what to do and you let it flow. Okay, so number one is that your mind loves to predict, manage, and control information so it can control the process and strategize what's the best way for you to get what you want. But the problem with that is that your mind goes on massive overdrive, right? It gets way ahead of itself. When you see somebody that you are attracted to, whether or not you've seen them before, your mind does this thing, right? You get these little butterflies, maybe you get excited, but your mind goes into overdrive trying to control the process. So the second that you see that person, your mind is kind of off to the races, right? This is really sabotaging to your process because overthinking and over strategizing is actually disconnective from the other person's perspective, right? So even though you might not say it, you might not even have a conversation with them. By the time you actually get to them, by the time that you're going to go and just interact with this person, you know, they're already maybe feeling that, that you've been sort of thinking about them and you're trying to like game them or trying to game the situation. And disconnection leads to the opposite of what you want, right? So when your mind gets in this space of overdrive, it might already start to be putting a wedge between you and that person that you think is a total hottie. Your mind gets ahead of itself. It's taking a very natural process and making it an absolute mess. So your mind loves to feel like it's going to know what's going to happen so it can respond to any given situation so that you can emotionally feel safe, right? It's very risky to tell somebody that we're attracted to them or show our attraction to them. It automatically makes us feel maybe vulnerable or open or too exposed, right? Because we feel like they might not feel the same. They could reject us or they could feel the same. And maybe, we're afraid of what's going to happen next or all sorts of reasons that it could have to have an issue with what's going to happen next. Our mind loves to manage every single part of the process so that it can, do what you need to do to feel effective or like you get what you want out of that situation. So most people are trying to put out the least amount of effort for the most amount of reward, right? Because that's what emotionally feels safe. There's no such thing as emotional safety. It literally does not exist. We are going to be risking it for the biscuit every single day for the rest of our lives. Life is risky, so get over it. And there's another really tricky little part that comes in here in that your mind is wired toward familiar situations. So think about that. What happened in formative times in your experiences when you were younger, or maybe when you were first developing connections with people that you were attracted to? Were you used to things working out? Were you used to there being conflict? Were you used to you liking that person and they didn't like you back? Your mind is primarily wired to find familiar situations because the subconscious mind has created many loops in your mind, right? So attraction is one of these areas where we just might be creating very familiar, repetitive patterns. Your mind is aware of all of that. And even if it's not necessarily positive, it's going to try to create those familiar situations because that's what you know. And it actually wants to predict what's going to happen. So many times it's actually hard for us to create a positive new experience or pattern because we're so used to doing what we've always done. And so there are some things you cannot mind over matter. Like you have to work deep in the subconscious. You have to work deeper on your patterning. But this is one of those ways that familiar things can just keep happening over and over and over in our attraction space because that's what's always happened and it's hard to do something new for the mind. Another reason our mind might sabotage attraction is because we actually kind of fear that we're never going to be with that person, or we're so attracted to them that we put them on a pedestal. We unconsciously kind of put them higher than us. And by doing so, disempowering yourself. So you might start to just blow up your idea of this person, using terms like they're out of my league, or they might be too good for me, or too hot for me, or too this or too that. It's all nonsense. Because your mind starts to put them on a pedestal, it's automatically approaching this situation from a space that is not necessarily very positive for you, and not really, seeing the outcome that you want to see. And on the flip side, your mind might actually start to pump up your own ego, or make you feel like you're better than that person, because it's actually afraid of rejection. So if you have unconscious securities or unconscious fears, your mind might start to convince you that you're better than that other person, even though you don't know them, because it's actually afraid of rejection. And it's your mind's little way of feeling safe and fixing itself by saying, oh, well, I'm better than them in this way or that way, or I'm sure I could get a date with that person, or they'd be lucky to be with me. It's like this little crazy coping mechanism that our mind has with attraction, because attraction is really powerful, you guys. Like biology is definitely a huge part of our makeup, but chemistry is really inexplicable. There's so many theories out there about what makes chemistry a real thing, but in my experience, it's biology. It's also our life experiences, also familiarity. What I mentioned before, there's so much that goes into attraction and the type of person that you're attracted to, or the reasons that you're attracted to them. And you might be attracted to them for a higher perspective purpose, some sort of life lesson, or some lesson that you're going through that you still haven't learned from the past, right? There's so many reasons we are attracted to someone, but this is a very, very natural process. So the next time you're attracted to somebody, or you feel like they're attracted to you, just go with the flow, baby. Like, do not get ahead of yourself. Just take it one step at a time. And every moment is just an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about that person, and about yourself, and about your connection, and about what's really going on between you two. So get curious the next time that you're attracted to somebody. Just get curious and stay with that curiosity, and follow that curiosity like little breadcrumbs, right? And just take it one moment at a time and have fun. Attraction, relationships, chemistry, sexual chemistry, it's supposed to be fun, you guys. If you're not having fun, you might be doing it wrong. So just stay in the moment and have fun, and bring some joy back into this experience, because it's supposed to be about that. It's supposed to be about people finding their way to each other for mutually beautiful experiences. Stay with that attraction, and just remind yourself of what you know now. You don't need to get ahead of yourself, and approach them and that situation from that headspace. And I'm sure you will find that you're going to shake off a lot of these crazy thoughts, a lot of these ways that your mind is jumping way ahead of itself. And I'm sending you so much luck. Remember me as your little invisible wingman the next time that you see that total hottie. I will be absolutely etherically cheering for you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. This is the only way that other beautiful souls can see this content that's going to be so helpful for them. I am appreciating and loving you from here, and I will see you in my next video. So much love.